Go ahead and call the meeting to order. I've got 7:02 p.m. Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda. We do have one administrative change under consent agenda. Item number 3, it says council meeting minutes for February 28th. That should read February 14th. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda with the correction of the council meeting to February 14th, 2022 minutes.
You have a second?
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Councilor Caceres,
Aye.
Councilor Seha,
Aye.
Councilor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Councilor Lee,
Aye.
Councilor Sini,
Aye.
Councilor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
All right, public comment. I am not seeing anybody in the attendees, so I'm guessing there's no public comment unless we have anyone sitting in the crowd there.
Nope. No audience.
All right, we'll just jump straight to consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to read through minutes and all that jazz? Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Vote by roll call.
Who seconded?
Doug.
I did.
Okay. Councilor Caceres,
Aye.
Councilor Seha,
Aye.
Councilor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Councilor Lee,
Aye.
Councilor Sini,
Aye.
Councilor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
And that is unanimous.
All right, no old business, so new business. First item, the DAS agreement to receive the COVID grant funds.
All right, Mayor, this is a pretty simple one. The contract is in your packet. I didn't include a staff report because this is straightforward. This is the funding mechanism through DAS, who's going to administer this contract. And this is part of those COVID relief funds. That was a direct dedication to the city from Representative Maura Green's office. She was able to direct a certain amount of funding directly towards project-specific items. And this is the contract that would allow us to accept those funds. And basically the motion is to approve contract number 8183, authorizing the city administrator to sign the contract for coronavirus state recovery funds. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Our city attorney has reviewed the contract and has said that this is a typical state contract.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Do we have a motion to go ahead and take some money?
I move to approve the Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Fund contract number 8183 for the 300,000.
Seconded.
Vote by roll call.
Councilor Caceres,
Aye.
Councilor Seha,
Aye.
Councilor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Councilor Lee,
Aye.
Councilor Sini,
Aye.
Councilor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
And that is unanimous.
Next item, proposal from West Lake Engineering Services is our water system improvement project, the phase 1 and 2. So we already discussed it, what, 2-3 meetings ago, something like that.
All right, and staff report is in your packet, but basically we just accepted $300,000 and now we're asking to spend $304,000 to do the water system design improvements. The contract will put together the system design and also prepare all the bidding documents and get everything bidded out so that the project can move forward to construction. Again, this was ARPA funds, the direct, we're tying these directly to the funds distributed through Raquel Moore Green's office. And then we also received $2.5 million that was assisted by Moore Green and Senator Patterson in House Bill 5006. And those will go towards construction of the project. But tonight, we're just awarding the contract to West Tech, our engineer of record, to go ahead and move forward with the water system design and bid projects. Happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions, comments, concerns? We got a motion?
I move to approve the West Tech Engineering proposal in the amount of $240,000 for task 1 design and bidding services for the new tank and pump station, and $64,000 for task 2 design and bidding services for drilling and testing 2 new wells from Fund 24-626 Water SDC Engineering Survey Projects Services Fund as presented by staff.
We have a
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
All right, next item is that Veterans War Memorial we talked about a while back.
Yeah, as council knows, we applied for a grant to install a new Veterans Memorial. Council had discussion and actually picked out a design for that before we did apply for the grant. And we were successful in getting that grant for $48,700. I went ahead and signed the contract to accept those funds. That was a pretty easy one to sign to accept. But tonight, we're asking that you would authorize the purchase of the Veterans Memorial bronze statues from Randy Rose Ink Company in the amount of $38,000. These are the statues that we picked out of the 5 children pledging allegiance to the flag. And then, of course, there's more to the project than there's the statues, but they have to be they actually have to be made. And so it's going to take several months. And so we need to get that contract moving, and we'll prep all the groundwork and the rest of the project as that's occurring.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? We got a motion?
I move to authorize the purchase of the Veterans Memorial Bronze statues from Randy Rose Incorporated in the amount of $38,000, with 50% to be paid now with the balance due on completion.
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
And that is unanimous.
All right, next we got resolution 322, which is just a budget amendment.
This is just a simple budget amendment to accept the $48,700 from a revenue line item and to expend the $48,700 into an expenditure line item. We've got a lot of projects going on. Typically, we have a little bit of buffer, but we're actually spending a lot of money getting these projects done. So we need to go ahead and process this budget amendment. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments, concerns? You have a motion?
I move to approve resolution 322, a resolution authorizing a 2021-2022 budget amendment in the general fund as presented by staff.
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
and that is unanimous.
We got resolution 222, which is another grant. This is the Heiberger Park updates.
All right, so I'll give the staff report. This is just a resolution authorizing staff to go ahead and apply for a Oregon Parks and Recreational Department local government grant to build restrooms, a children's playground, and some exercise equipment in Heiberger Park All of these things are within our park master plan as projects that fit a need within the community. And again, this doesn't really commit the city. It just allows us to go ahead and move forward, check the box that we've gotten council approval on the application. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments, concerns? We have a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 2-22, a resolution authorizing and supporting the city of Aumsville's application for Oregon Parks and Recreation Department local government grant for development of Heiberger Park as presented by staff.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
and that is unanimous.
And last thing on new business, we have safety manual inclusions for extreme heat and wildfire smoke.
Yeah, and these changes are in response to some requirements by OSHA for us to adopt safety standards related to heat, illness. So we had to adopt these, the heat illness prevention plan. I think it's all pretty straightforward, but happy to answer any questions. This will just go into our policy manual, and then these are the standards that staff will implement as they're out working. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Got a motion.
I move to approve the inclusion of the heat illness prevention plan and the wildfire smoke policy into the Aumsville safety manual as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Ecclestone,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
and that is unanimous.
Moving on. Ron, your report.
Well, as you can see, I have a very, very small report for you tonight because I have been on vacation, but we are extremely busy, as you can tell by the agenda that we just approved tonight. And I do just want to make a comment that these are legacy projects that we're approving tonight. These have been in our wish list for many, many years. It's pretty amazing to see them finally coming forward to be projects. Just for general knowledge, we also did receive a couple of grants, one for $900,000 to help build a new public works facility, which we really need. And I think everybody's excited about it.
Yeah.
We might have to build it ourselves because prices are going up. I haven't sprung that on the public works staff yet, but
Well, we did pretty good with mods. Maybe we could repeat.
it just needs to be larger.
Yeah.
And we did receive a $1 million Marion County ARPA grant. We did site visits today to get that grant contract put together to help with our sewer project. And then we also received another $757,000 in House Bill 5202, I believe it is, in order to finish funding the water project that we just approved the design for. So I see no reason why we should not be able to complete that reservoir project and the new wells within the budget that we have currently allocated and with the city matching funds. So I think we should be good. There's about $240,000 based on the current budget that has to be funded by the city, but we've got time in order to put that money into our capital fund. So we're going to be right there. We're going to be looking good with that project. And then we've just got lots of stuff going on. We've got lots of grant applications out there. We're working with our state and federal representatives. Now we're able to kind of hone our focus strictly on sewer because that's kind of one of our last remaining priority projects. We always look for opportunities like the sign, the Veterans Memorial, those types of projects, and we'll continue to do that. But we're really focused on trying to make something happen with the sewer system. And so we'll keep working on that. We did get our new Public Works truck in. I think you may have seen pictures, and I went out there today and I thought we got a whole new fleet because I think the Public Works staff washed the trucks today and they all look brand new. So they look good, and we're getting the logos changed on all the older vehicles one at a time, so that we're switching that branding over that we want to do. We're systematically doing that. So they look really good. Other than that, I don't think the police report is in your packet. As you can see, I think by the financials that were in your boxes, we're doing really well financially. The forecast model that we use proves itself year after year, and we just seem to hit those numbers very close every year. So it's working for us. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.
How, I know that you've said in previous meetings with the grant money, that it was just like a fraction of what we're getting now. Can we get a subtotal of kind of what we've been doing the last couple of years? And I think it'd be kind of a great refresher for the community just to know, hey, we were only getting like 20, 30, 40 grand in grants, and we're getting hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars worth of grants. And we're using our resources and utilizing them and getting money kind of pumped into the community that we've never seen before. And I know that we talk about it a couple times a year, but I think when we have big dollar items coming in, maybe updating numbers so then the community can go, oh, we've gotten a couple million so far for the year and it's March. That's
and
huge.
all that information is listed in the state of the city, because I did highlight it in the state of the city. And just for reference, well, first of all, I should say, I always tell everybody grants should not be the solution to our problems, because it's so infrequent when we'll get grants. But because of all of the money through the coronavirus relief packages and the ARPA package that came out from the federal government, now the infrastructure bill that's out there, there's a lot more money available to be able to leverage grants. So we're really tapping in to a lot of that. But even before that money was available, we were actually working much more diligently on acquiring grants, and we had been slowly working that grant total up. And just by way of example, and that's not to say that there wasn't big grants in the past, because grants tend to be circular. They kind of come around and then they're not here for a while and then they come around. But in 2016, I think we leveraged $12,000 worth of grants. There may have been a couple of safety grants for several $1,000s, but it was a pretty small amount. By 2017, I think we're up to about $150,000 in grants. 2018 or 19, we were more in the $300,000 range. Last year, we did 3.8 million. And this year, I think we're already above almost 3 million this year, just since the first of the year. So we're doing really well, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to buy down the exposure that our citizenry would have with a lot of these projects that would equate into rate increases. So artificially, what we're doing, even though the rates aren't changing, we're actually lowering the rates, because if we were doing these projects through a rate increase, they'd be much higher. So in that sense, we are lowering the rates where they should be, but we're buying that down through the work that we're doing through grants.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think with everything that we have going on, there's so many moving parts. Even though that we're dealing with it a couple times a month, some people in the community aren't always as engaged as we might be. So if every once in a while we can just kind of summarize things and make it easy for everybody to go, oh, yes, that we got all this movement going on.
Yeah.
And it may make it easier for those from the outside kind of stepping in to be kept up to speed. And I think it's fantastic how much staff is doing, and we've seized a lot of opportunities, in my opinion. I think we're doing amazing in comparison to where we were.
Yeah, we have absolutely positively really hit a lot of our legacy projects and a lot of our high-level goals the last few years. So, I mean, we're in a great position. I think we're doing better than many communities with larger staff from a standpoint of receiving some of those funds.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is the work that, you know, we do this work as a team. It's not as an individual person's effort. It takes policy makers helping to build those relationships with the state and federal delegation. And then it's those relationships that we're able to leverage into applications and work at the staff to staff level to turn into funding. And then it's the coordination of everybody. You know, when you do an application, even if I submitted the application, that application has touched public works, it's touched finance, administration, policymakers. You know, we all have a hand in it in order to make that successful. But that's the coordination we're doing because the tasks that we have ahead are so enormous, and we want to do such a good job for the community to try to buy down that future expense.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else?
I'm
Thing
good.
up, Jeb, guys, legitimately, I've been doing this since 2007, and I've never seen a more committed group of people on our staff to make this happen. And just, I really want to give staff credit for coming together to make this happen and to hit this one out of the park. I'm really proud of everybody involved, legitimately. So thank you.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, we will move on. Mayor and council reports. Anybody got anything?
Nope.
Take that as a no. Good of the order. Anybody have anything? Yes, that's a no. So we do have an executive session, Ron, correct?
Yeah, this is to just keep the council up to date on some contract negotiations and get a little bit of direction from you as I move forward.
All right, well, we will go ahead and adjourn this portion of the meeting into the executive session. I have 7:25 p.m. All right, executive session is complete. We'll go ahead and reconvene the meeting. I have 7:32 p.m. We have nothing left on the agenda. So if there is nothing else, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. It is now 7:33 p.m.